Have you ever noticed that guys like SGA and Jokic cannot be guarded on an island? Elite 3-level scores with a bottomless bag of tricks. Now, what if I was to say that the first superstar to ever master this archetype was a man that never played a second in the NBA? A man so great that Dr. J said he was the class of the class. I introduce to you Rajah Brown, the man of 1,000 moves. What's good, family? It's Commissioner CJ and welcome back to the BLA. And today I have for you one of the greatest all-around superstars I ever had the pleasure of researching. Rajah Brown was a 6'5", 205-pound small forward who would be the first player ever signed by the ABA Pacers back in 1967. He would spend his entire 8-year-long career in the ABA, and during that time, he would make a list of accolades that every basketball fan dreams of. He was a 4-time All-Star, a 3-time All-ABA selection, a 3-time ABA champion, and an ABA Playoffs MVP. And just to make sure you don't forget it, he also is a Hall of Fame level player. His bag of tricks was so deep it made him impossible to guard, as he was an elite 3-level scorer that had every counter imaginable that the defense could throw at him. He could drive right by you with a quick first step and get all the way to the rim for a stop in the mid-range for an easy pull-up too. If you were to sag off of him, he had no problem just stepping behind that 3-point line and letting it fly. He had head fakes, pump fakes, shoulder fakes, one dribble pull-ups, anything that you can imagine. If you sent help, he had no problem dotting up a teammate you needed to box him out, because if you didn't, he was more than capable of grabbing boards over people. He could hold his own on defense while also being versatile enough to guard other positions. And all that was on top of, he was one of, if not the most clutch player in the entire league. Whether that be on offense or defense, you could count on him to make the clutch play. And you can show me how clutch you are by hitting the game winner over that like and subscribe button. Throughout the entirety of his career, the Rajah would average 17.5 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. He would turn the ball over 2.5 times, but he would get to the free throw line at least 5 times a night. With shooting splits of 46% from the field, 32% from the 3-point line, and 79% from the free throw line, that would give him a true shooting percentage of 54%. So not only was he effective, he was also efficient when it came to putting that ball in the basket. For context, that's only about 2 to 3% below other notable Pacers stars such as Paul George and Danny Granger. So now that you're caught up and have a general idea of who this forgotten GOAT was, let's take a deeper look into his career. What did he look like during his first year of being a professional basketball player? The unstoppable force that he was in his prime, and a playoff run that would cement him as a legend in the sport. When Rajah Brown first stepped foot in the ABA, he let it be known that he was a force to be reckoned with, because during that first season, he would score 19.5 points, grab 8.5 rebounds, dishing out 4 assists a night. And while he would turn the ball over 3.5 times, he would more than make up for it by getting to that charity stripe at least 7 times a night. Those numbers combined with shooting splits of 42% from the field, 25% from the 3-point line, and 75% from the free throw line, giving him a true shooting percentage of 49%. It was clear that if you didn't know who he was at the time, he would make sure you did know and never forget it. And seeing that he started his career at the age of 25, I guess you could say that he was already in his prime. And the stats reflect that, as during the rest of his prime, he would average 20.5 points, grabbing 7 rebounds, dishing out 4.5 assists, turning the ball over only 3 times a night, and getting to that free throw line at least 6.5 times. His biggest improvement would be in his efficiency, as he would shoot 47% from the field, 29% from the 3-point line, and 79% from the charity stripe, giving him a true shooting percentage of 55%. The closest modern day equivalent of someone giving you at least 27 and 4 on that efficiency would be either Giannis or Luka. But I can read your mind right now. You're saying, man, that's all regular season numbers. What about when the playoffs start, when those lights get bright? Don't worry, you had nothing to be concerned about when the Rajah took the court during the postseason, and these numbers reflect that. Because during his playoff career, he would give you 19, 6 and 4 with only 2 turnovers and 5 trips to the charity stripe. And don't you dare think his efficiency took a hit, as he would shoot 48% from the field, 35% from the 3-point line, and 79% from the charity stripe, giving him that same true shooting of 55%. But what year was his best? What year was he undoubtedly the best player in the ABA and quite possibly a top 3 player in the world? It has to be the 1969 to 1970 ABA season, and let me explain why. This would be his best statistical season, giving you 23, 7 and 4 with around 3 turnovers and 6 trips to the charity stripe. And if you haven't caught on by now, yes, he was efficient, shooting 49% from the field, 33% from behind the arc, and 81% from the line, giving him a ridiculous true shooting percentage of 57, while helping the Indiana Pacers claim the #1 seed with 52 wins. He would be rewarded not only with an all-star selection, but a trip to the All-ABA second team. And during that postseason run, he would show that he was a top 5 player in the world, as he would average 28, 10 and 5 with 3 turnovers and 9 trips to the line. And don't you dare think he was inefficient. 47% from the field, 35% from behind the arc, and 82% from the line, giving him a true shooting percentage of 57%. Just so you understand how ridiculous those numbers are, only 2 players to ever do that were Nikola Jokic and Giannis Antetokounmpo. So let's give him his respect and look at each round of this playoff run and see what he was doing. In the Eastern Division semifinals, he would average 29 and 5 with 2.5 turnovers and about 10 trips to the line, shooting 43% from the field and 76% from the charity stripe, giving him a true shooting percentage of 52%. As the Pacers would sweep the Carolina Cougars in the first round. The Pacers would go on to play the Kentucky Colonels in the Eastern Division Finals, and this is when the Rajah would crank it up into the 5th gear, as he would give them 30, 10 and 6 with 3 turnovers and 7 trips to the line, shooting 46% from the field and a scorching 40% from behind the arc. And don't forget, he was getting to that line, knocking down 86% of them, which would give him a true shooting percentage of 55%, as he would knock out Kentucky in 5 games. And in the ABA finals, he reached another level that most wouldn't think would be possible, as he would put up 32, 10 and 5 with 3.5 turnovers and 9 trips to the line, all while shooting 50% from the field, 35% from behind the arc, and 85% from the line, giving him a true shooting percentage of 60. The only 2 players in NBA history that ever averaged 30, 10 and 5 in the finals was Nikola Jokic and Giannis Antetokounmpo. So I guess it's fair to say that he's in some pretty elite company. And that's not even the end of it, because during Game 4, he would have an absolute masterclass. 53 points, 13 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 turnovers, and 16 free throw attempts, on ridiculous shooting splits of 62% from the field, 37% from the 3, and 87% from the charity stripe, giving him a true shooting percentage of 73%. Just so you can understand how insane of a performance this was, that would rank him 4th in most points scored in a single finals game. One of 7 players to ever put 50 points and at least 10 rebounds in a single game, the last one being Giannis Antetokounmpo. And only the 2nd player in history to give you at least 50 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists in a single finals game. Now, I don't know about you, but that sounds like best in the world to me. If you've ever seen Rajah Brown play or have any stories about him, please leave them down in the comments below. And let me also get a King Rajah, because I know after that playoff run, there was real debates in the schools talking about who was the best player in the world. And if you want more ABA content, check out the video I did on this teammate Mel Daniels, 2-time MVP. Get to know more about him as well. It's been Commissioner CJ, and y'all stay safe out there, alright? Peace, peace.